Welcome to Show Up. I'm your host, Tabatha Pittman. Today we are talking about relationships and overcoming obstacles. Relationships can be delightfully breathtaking and at times strangely disappointing, as some of us know. It depends in part how we respond or react to relationship challenges. Here's a list of where connections give us the choice to step in and develop instead of resist and suffer. Relationships come with their fair share of challenges, and while some are little and even negligible, others are significant enough to break what you've built together. We're going to talk about relationships and overcoming obstacles on the other side of this break. Welcome back to Show Up. I'm your host, Tabatha Pittman. Today's topic is relationships and overcoming obstacles. Please note the content of this video is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your health professional or other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding your condition. Here are some facts you didn't know about facing obstacles in a relationship. But even on the off chance that you're confronting what feels like an inconceivable hurdle, it's still possible to overcome relationship problems and become stronger than ever. Number one, learn to listen. Do you ever find yourself wanting to bounce into the discussion while your partner is still talking? I've done that before. Or are you holding up an expectation to insert your 2 cents, hence ignoring or even discounting what your partner is attempting to say? One of the most frequent problems in couples is listening. When we tune in for understanding and not to prepare our side of the debate, we really pass on the opportunity that they are important to us. By tuning in for understanding without judgment, you're confirming, I care about you and what you think, and you're important to me. To tune in more effectively, try these tips. Take a profound deep breath once you feel like interrupting your partner. Make eye contact along with your partner. Hold a pen or paper clip to oversee the need to fidget. Once your partner is done, summarize what they said. Number two, the blame game. When a struggle emerges, it can be easier to blame your partner instead of trying to find the flaws in your partner. Inquire yourself, do some retrospective look, introspective work on how you contributed to the conflict. When couples sit together and acknowledge responsibility for their part, it establishes a sense of safety and connection. This is often much more connecting and pro-resolution than getting into an attack and self-defense mode, which so many couples find themselves in. It is imperative to handle the conflict once both of you are calmer and in a better state of mind. Handling implies this, that you are examining how we can do this differently the next time without getting back into the battle. An explanation like, maybe I overreacted, or I may have dealt with that better, do much to reconnect you and your partner and oversee fights. Keep in mind it takes two individuals to prioritize a healthy relationship. You will not have the control to change your partner, but you will be able to react or control how you react. If you like this kind of topic, please consider to like and share our network with your friends and families. We upload encouraging videos on a regular basis. Number three, unequal partnership. Inconvenience can emerge when one partner feels like they're all in while the other's efforts are lackluster. This issue is most frequent in how couples share housework and domestic support needs, clarifies Toni Coleman, an LCSW CMC, a psychotherapist, and, like me, a relationship coach. She portrays a commonplace situation in which a division of duties is examined, but only one individual follows through and then picks up the slack. Over time, she says, this empowering leads to hatred and the loss of goodwill between the couple. For issues like this, the therapist says her approach is old school, and holding each other responsible is key. I suggest pivoting chores charts, planning in time for chores, charge paying, and talks about accounts and joint duties, and tools that offer updates and help us to follow through. She says, just keep in mind, the point isn't to initiate a tit for tat. This can be about participation, caring about emotions and needs of your partner, and looking for a win-win, since it's never a win-win unless both individuals win, she concludes. Number 4, quality time together. Frequently in our busy lives, we spend less hours with our partners and families than on other tasks such as work or amusement. Are you making the most of your time together? If not, this might be a genuine relationship obstacle. If you have to plan it into your everyday calendar, make it a priority by investing quality time together. Carve out even 20 minutes besides the diversion of your phone or TV, and just develop a sense of us. During this time, avoid talking about the issues in your relationship, but more of the outside stressors you each may be encountering. This becomes a custom of connecting and defines the couple as a couple. Otherwise, you're sending the flag to your partner that your needs lie somewhere else. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The favor of a wife. Healing you to ignite new life in your marriage is a must-have for every wife, fiance, and woman desiring marriage. Apply the practical wisdom Tabatha shares and gain a new perspective on you and how you see your spouse. Your marriage will be better for it. Buy now. Shop Magnetic Woman Global.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Tabatha Pittman. Before the break, we discussed the following suggestions for overcoming obstacles: learning to listen, avoiding the blame game, how to remedy unequal partnership, and prioritizing quality time with your spouse. And as for number 5, this one requires a drum roll. Have fun. What's the point of being together if you don't appreciate each other's company? Finding joy, laughing together, and doing fun exercises help to reinforce the relationship and your connection to each other. Research what's available in your community, and don't forget to do something your partner is interested in. Relationships are always a work in progress, and it shouldn't be shocking that you encounter conflicts from time to time. However, if you're finding that you're still hitting the brick wall after taking these tips, it may be time to seek proficient assistance. For my spouse and I, once we had children together, we had to be more intentional about prioritizing our one-on-one time. And that meant dates on the town with a sitter. And then we also got a little more creative and had lunches during the work week while the kids were at daycare. This was one way that we could incorporate still having fun. Number 6, financial issues. Another example of unequal relationships has to do with, you guessed it, the finances. A second and common situation is when one partner handles all of the bill paying, tries to work within a budget, does more savings, and does not run up or carry the credit card charges. And yet there seems to be the other partner, right? Inconvenience can too emerge when an occasion like an invasion of therapeutic bills, work loss, or recklessness threatens your financial security. In either case, the main issue is the dynamic it makes. An example would be when one partner is exclusively mindful for keeping an eye on the budget and the other one is the high roller in the relationship. There usually evokes some type of argument, right? And you can't confront it without there being some contention. This clears out one partner carrying all the weight of stress and about arranging for the family's budgetary needs and objectives. This can certainly be an issue in marriage. I was a single mom for a long time, so I had been the only person I answered to. But once I said I do, I had to relinquish the selfish for the selfless act of marriage, where the two become one. And so we talked about things and we made decisions together. Number 7, are you on the same page? Another relationship obstacles are conflicts over major issues such as having a family, money related commitments. Being in sync on these types of issues guarantees that you are both on the same page by utilizing time together to understand each other's perspective, needs, and objectives. That way, you can be united when making these choices. It's important to understand why your partner has a certain stand on the issue. You will uncover a few symbolisms that has much more profound meaning than the real contradiction. When we share our perspectives, needs, even our backgrounds and objectives, we are taking our relationship to a much more profound level. We are making a positive, enthusiastic overtone, which leads to settling issues faster and expanding the benefit of the question. The best thing I could have ever learned was to get in lockstep with my husband. That is how you level up. We'll be right back with more tips on overcoming obstacles in your relationships after this commercial break.
Magnetic Woman Apparel is comfortably designed with you in mind. To uplift, encourage, and inspire, all while pointing others to Jesus. Shop our wide selection of unique women's Christian clothing, books, and mugs. Now you can share the gospel with everywhere. Shop Magnetic Woman Global.
Welcome back to Show Up. We were discussing on today's issue relationships and overcoming obstacles. Number 8, communication. Great communication is pretty simple in theory, but at times it can be really difficult to do. The great news is that it's a skill, and like every expertise, it gets better with time and practice. It's around remaining focused on the point and staying generally calm so you both can move forward. It's about talking about you, your sentiments, your anger, your stress, and less about the other person. It's about arguing over whose reality is right. It's about being brave enough to talk up even if the other individual may get disturbed. Controlling your mood so that the other person isn't continuously feeling threatened and you both are realizing that the problem from 2012 is off limits. You have to remain rational and keep the discussion moving forward towards a solution. The simple yet capable beginning point here is to treat each person in each discussion genuinely as if you were at work. Remain proficient and focused. Don't stress with your partner. Just focus on you. Keep your cool and make your point. Number 9, trust. Many of us have trust issues from past relationships that we frequently carry subliminally into our following or current relationship. If you walk into a relationship with distrust and you're incapable to let this doubt go, how will your relationship be able to progress? By not trusting that your partner is coming from a loving place when he or she brings their concerns or issues they have with respect to you and your relationship you share, at that point, generally, you won't be as open to listening. Keep in mind your current relationship isn't your past relationship. For me, I recall past traumas, and it really pushed me to question the trust in my relationship, especially if I had been triggered by something my husband did or said that reminded me of the hurt from an ex. I'm sure many of you can relate. I had to reflect on the fact that I am healed. I'm healed from the past hurts, and my past does not dictate my present or my future unless I allow it. That being said, do not fall victim to your past pain. It will steal your future happiness. When obstacles arise and your partner is open to communicating these issues with you, trusting them implies that you just don't expect that they think you're a terrible person and that they need to break up or leave you unless they really want to, right? Don't assume that. Instead of pulling away or getting protective and withdrawing within, you may fear, because you fear a breakup, I encourage you to fully open your heart and mind to listen to your partner so that you simply can effectively conquer and move past the obstacles. By putting aside your inner self and trusting your partner, you make a loving space to have a superior understanding, more sympathy, and a more grounded establishment to grow from. I'll have my closing thoughts when we come back.
The favor of a wife, healing you to ignite new life in your marriage, is a must-have for every wife, fiance, and woman desiring marriage. Apply the practical wisdom Tabatha shares and gain a new perspective on you and how you see your spouse. Your marriage will be better for it. Buy now. Shop Magnetic Woman Global. Magnetic Woman Apparel is comfortably designed with you in mind. To uplift, encourage, and inspire, all while pointing others to Jesus. Shop our wide selection of unique women's Christian clothing, books, and mugs. Now you can share the gospel with everywhere. Shop Magnetic Woman Global.
This has been a delightful conversation on relationships and overcoming obstacles. In closing, here are my final thoughts. Linda Swift, a good friend of mine, shared a quote of her father's with me. He said, "There are 3 things in life you cannot half do: God, marriage, and raising children." In effect, he was saying we have to give 100%. No relationship is perfect, but when you have God at the head and your vertical relationship is in alignment, you can overcome any obstacles in your horizontal relationship with your spouse. I want to encourage you to keep fighting the good fight of faith, keep running the race for your family and your marriage, because you are impacting your community, your children, and your legacy. Thank you for taking the time to watch Show Up. I'm your host, Tabatha Pittman, where we show up spiritually healthy, overcoming, whole, and united for purpose.